Well. It is official. Bill O'Reilly is out at Fox. God bless you. And everybody in the room, God bless us all. And the woman whose anonymous allegations helped get him off the air, she's going to be coming forward with us in a little while, right here on The View. But before we get into that, we want to point out that years before Fox broke with Bill, we broke with Bill as well. Take a look. Wait a minute. So, it took us 5 minutes. It took Fox 20 years and a half a dozen allegations, 13 million in settlements, and possibly another 40 million in severance before Fox News did anything. And so, you think this is going to change anything over there? Because his replacement is Tucker Carlson, who said the concept of sexual harassment was made up by Democrats.
I want to just say that I'm wearing black to mourn the departure of our dear Bill. I'm so upset.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is you talk about how this was really a money game for Fox. It would never have happened if this hadn't have gone public due to people like Gretchen Carlson. So what came to mind right away?
Give her a shout out.
Yeah, big shout out for the bravery of that. But also, this reminds me of... This is the stuff for people that are looking and thinking about what Trump is doing in the White House. And recently we talked about how he rolled back Obama's 2014 Fair Pay and Safe Workplaces order, which allowed, at the time, companies to stay silent on these types of things.
So they didn't have to report it.
So they didn't have to report it. And this is so important right now, because if this had not blown up publicly, we wouldn't be sitting here. They were willing to re-sign him for the money, even after knowing about these allegations.
That's true.
One of the allegations dates way back to 2004, when he paid out $9 million for one person because of this girl who said, and she recorded this, so there is proof of this, how he asked her about, remember the loofah?
Right.
So a company was able to keep this silent, even though these things had broken, and it did not break him until this went public. So things like this that Trump is rolling back, people need to pay attention to this kind of stuff.
There was a notion, I remember working there. I didn't work with Bill O'Reilly. I never did his show. I never even spoke to him, actually. But there was this notion that he was untouchable. I remember when I first got hired, walking in the hallway and someone saying, makeup artist, I don't remember who it was, saying, don't look him in the eye, don't talk to him, he doesn't like that. And me thinking, is this guy a king here? I didn't really understand that. And there was this sense that, there were a lot of rumors that he was tough, that I remember hearing all this stuff, like the girls used to run out of the room and they would be crying and he would be, and I didn't do his show. I wasn't asked to do it a lot, and when I was asked to do it, I wasn't able to do it. But
you notice that Trump's thumbs are silent. We haven't heard from the president suddenly on this.
He said all he had to say. He went on record and said he didn't think it was so bad what Bill did.
But now that he's fired, he didn't say a word.
Well, no, because isn't he traveling too?
Yeah, right. In the wrong direction.
Yes, in the wrong direction. We'll be right back. I posed a question, and it is this. Do you think that Bill's departure is going to change the culture that seems to be over there? And as I said, I read that thing that Tucker Carlson said about sexual harassment.
It's certainly not enough.
It was created by Democrats.
It's just not enough. I mean, they got rid of Roger Ailes and they got rid of Bill O'Reilly. I think they're starting to realize that it's unsustainable, this business model that they had, which was just pay women to shut up. But I think if you're truly going to change this hostile work environment, you've got to have training. You have to have an HR department that has real teeth. You have to have a diversity officer that someone can go to and make this complaint, and that person has to have the power to fire.
You were saying before, Sonny, during the break, that he did not come on to harass you.
I worked on the O'Reilly factor.
And he did not harass Miss Kelly either.
Megyn and I did a segment together with him.
What do they have in common? They're both lawyers. So the bully picks his target, see? He knew that they would sue him. He's totally not innocent in any of this.
Sorry, go on.
No, I do think the network has made significant changes, though, and I think they are headed in the right direction. I think that Ailes being gone. Well, I think they fired 2 people who were representative of what the network was. I mean, Roger Ailes was king there. Bill O'Reilly was the lead program there. When often when people would think of Fox News, they would think of Bill O'Reilly.
Remain the same.
But by holding those 2 people accountable, I think it does make a big statement that that's not what we're about moving forward.
And I think some of that stuff you're suggesting. Anchor chairs. Put more women in the anchor chairs.
I agree, and I think
is it possible also that
I think you will see that as well.
Not enough.
you know? So you've gotten rid of the sexual harassers, and now you seem to have put racist in.
Well,
right?
who would you define as racist that's there now? Tucker? Is that what you were speaking?
No. But, you know, what's his name? Not Wally. What's that man's name? The morning guy.
Steve Doocy?
Yeah.
Doocy.
These are the guys that are...
Oh, how do you say it?
Isn't that his name?
Doocy. Sorry. Doocy.
There is
Doocy. Yeah. And so have you, you know, this is... Okay, well, this is the gentleman that went down to Chinatown. Thought it was funny. Okay, so he also moved up. So the 2 of them moved up and out of where they were. So that will be the next thing to work on. Because, listen, I want Fox News to do whatever they're supposed to do. Okay? If they have a position that they carry, I don't mind hearing it. I don't mind hearing opposition. But what I don't want to hear is I don't want to hear racist innuendo. I don't want to hear... you know, again, veiled woman-hating stuff, or, you know, or things that say,
Maxine Waters being
he had to apologize. I mean, Jesse Waters had to apologize for that, though. They forced him to apologize.
One that said, one of them said to Maxine Waters several years ago, "Get off the crack pipe." You remember?
He did not apologize.
He did not apologize.
Well, he needs to go next.
Well, I have a statement from Bill O'Reilly, though, to be fair.
I'm going to put a period on my sentence.
Yeah.
And that is, I don't mind what your politics are. I just don't think you can sustain a racist and female-hating society if you're going to be news people.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Bill O'Reilly has issued a statement. He says, over the past 20 years at Fox News, I have been extremely proud to launch and lead one of the most successful news programs in history. It is tremendously disheartening that we part ways due to completely unfounded claims. I will always look back on my time at Fox with great pride in the unprecedented success we achieved. I wish only the best for Fox News Channel.
He sounds like Trump, doesn't he? Tremendous, unfounded lies. And also, can I just say one thing about all of these sexual harassers? If they notice, they all become the victim. When Clarence Thomas was under the gun from Anita Hill, he said that this was a high-tech lynching. I guess he was referring to racism also. But whatever card they're playing, it's victimizing. They are the victim, not you, who I made feel uncomfortable, not you who lost your job, but me, poor me. That's what they do. Go ahead.
Okay, I think we have to go.
We gotta go. We'll be right back.
What do you have to say?
We'll be right back. So, our next guest may have been the final nail in the coffin of Bill O'Reilly's career at Fox News, and she's speaking out for the first time on live TV about her sexual and racial harassment allegations. Please welcome Paquita Burgess and her attorney, Lisa Bloom, right there. So, I wanna ask you, you were working as a temp when they sent you over to Fox.
Yes.
What happened from there? Give it to us concisely, because we want to get everything in. So what happened?
I was working at Fox temporarily, and I was working with a colleague of Mr. O'Reilly's. And when I worked there, you know, everything was fine. Within, like, the first week and a half of me working there, he always walked past my desk, and he made, like, a grunting noise, which, you know, I do.
Oh, like that?
Yes.
Oh.
And when he made the noise, I just, you know, I thought maybe he had a muscle spasm.
Acid reflux.
But as time went on, I noticed every time he walked past my desk, if no one was around, he would make that noise.
Oh.
And I was like, okay. He wasn't speaking to me. It wasn't like he was saying hi. Everyone else said hi to me where I sat. So, you know, I just took it as you know, it was embarrassing.
Yeah, yeah.
It was embarrassing. So I got to a point where I just did not look at him. Fast forward to maybe 3-4 weeks in, we were on the elevator alone, coming up to our floor, and he let me off first, as gentlemen usually do with a woman. And, you know, I walked in front of him, and as I was getting off the elevator, he said, "Looking good there, girl." And the hairs rose on the back of my neck because I knew the grunting and groaning was going on. We were in the elevator. He didn't speak. Then he waits until I get off the elevator, and as I'm walking in front of him, makes these remarks. So after that, I was on the defense. I'm just going to say a couple weeks later, I am sitting at my desk, and he would always come around my desk, leer at me, look me up and down. I could feel like he was looking at my cleavage, you know, making me uncomfortable. He had no reason to be near my desk at all. And I just stopped looking at him, paying him any attention, because it made me feel uncomfortable. It was like street harassment in the office.
When did hot chocolate come about?
Let's hear that.
One day he walks past my desk. I remember it was like after lunch, whatever. I went downstairs in the plaza, and you know, I'm just sitting there minding my business, and he walks past and says, "Hey, hot chocolate," but he didn't look at me when he said it, and I was like, I didn't respond. I was mortified because not only was it sexual, I took that as a very plantational remark. You know, I've been around enough racism, whatever, but such a blatant person with such a high profile, making me feel uncomfortable, but then not acknowledging, acknowledging me.
Perquita, when this happened, did you report any of it to anyone within Fox or at the temp agency? Or
no, I told friends and family members. I didn't tell Fox because I wasn't I wasn't an employee of Fox, and I didn't tell my agency because I didn't want to ruin my agency's relationship with Fox News, because they had a lot of people there. That's how they work.
And you were vocal about it, though, on social media. In 2010, you tweeted, "I contracted at Fox News for 6 months a few years ago. Bill O'Reilly is a piece of..." And then in 2014, you say, "Bill O'Reilly likes black women. I'll leave it at that." So you certainly have this sort of electronic trail. Lisa, what does that mean for her claims?
Yeah. Well, it was so important to us that Perquita come out and speak out. And when she contacted me about a week and a half ago, I asked her, "Do you have any electronic evidence? What do you have? Texts? Anything from the time?" She had this wonderful Twitter history where, as you say, since 2010, she's been speaking out about Bill O'Reilly. And in 2010, nobody was talking about him and sexual harassment. And she did what a lot of women do. She spoke out a little bit. She didn't go all the way and say he sexually harassed me, but saying, you know, Bill O'Reilly likes black women, I'll leave it at that. I think we all understand what that means.
What about legal action?
Perquita, like the other two accusers who I represent, has not asked for a dime, and that was an important part of our legal strategy to bring him down. I wanted all of my accusers to be credible, and not asking for any money, I think, really boosted up the credibility of all of them.
But they were sexually harassed. Don't they deserve some sort of compensation for that?
Well, they absolutely do, Sonny, and I agree with you. The other problem is, since 2008 is when her claims arose, which is beyond the statute of limitations in New York, so she couldn't sue him now anyway, even if she wanted to.
So it's been reported that over the years, O'Reilly settled a number of harassment cases totaling $13 million. Now, during a recent interview, Donald Trump said that he thought that O'Reilly was a good person and he shouldn't have settled. I'll ask both of you, how do you feel about those comments?
Mortified that someone that can control how people behave in the workplace, and violent, because it's really workplace violence. And for the leader of our country to defend indefensible behavior by someone who should be Bill O'Reilly should be a leader of people at Fox. He should not use his power to intimidate women.
And what Trump said was, I don't think he did anything wrong.
Yeah,
he didn't say, I don't think he did it. He doesn't think sexual harassment is wrong. Yeah. He's made that very clear.
So now that they've cleared the swamp at Fox, in a way, Fox is even in a better position than the United States government.
Well,
they have a bigger moral standing than the government of the United States.
Listen, I want to be clear. This was a targeted effort by a small group of women, including my other accusers, Perkita and me, to bring down Bill O'Reilly. We did that. This is what women can do. If we stick together, if we have a plan,
Perkita, there are people who are skeptical and think you are piling on. Why did you decide to come out now after nearly 10 years?
I was tired of reliving the trauma every time I saw a woman speak out. And I wanted to save him from doing it to anyone else. I was mortified. I did not want to. You know, I was very afraid because the skeptics, I don't want the skeptics, you know. When you tell your truth, it's your truth. And when people question it, it pisses you off.
Can I ask you a question, too? Because Tucker Carlson had said at one point that when you say to a woman these days, I'm going to paraphrase, you look good today, and then bam, they're hit with a suit. Can you tell the difference? Because a lot of people that don't see what this is and why it's wrong, the difference between you look really pretty today and feeling that you work in an aggressive, harassing environment.
Someone grunting at me and groaning and leering and not speaking to me. It's inexcusable, but if someone pays you a compliment but they still treat you as a colleague or, you know, someone with respect. But, you know, Fox News, you know, there weren't many minorities there when I was there. So, you know, I felt, you know, that I had to be, you know, a little more exemplary, which I am because that's how my parents raised me.
And you know, the other thing is he's in a more powerful position than you were in. So he has to, those people have to really watch their P's and Q's.
But also, when you're walking in front of someone and someone makes a comment like that, and you can't see where they're looking, but you know where they're looking because women know. We can feel where your eyes are.
We do know.
So, you know, don't make those comments. Don't make those comments. So when you heard that, in fact, Fox was releasing him, elated, happy, sad that it took this long to happen?
I felt triumphant. I felt triumphant. It's very cathartic. Very cathartic.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Thank you.
Perkita Burgess and her attorney, Lisa Bloom. They did what needed to be done, and it got done.
That's right.
We'll be right back. So, American political parties are as far apart right now as ever they've been before. But ABC News chief political analyst Matthew Dowd joins Hot Topics right now to tell us some good news about what's going on. Welcome, MD.
Thank you. Great
So, the last time you were here was the day after the election.
Everybody was still in a state of shock.
I'm still up. State of mourning.
But this is day 91.
Anything good here?
I feel like you got to say something. Is anything? What's happening, Matthew?
Well, I obviously many people are upset about they were upset about the election. They're upset about the presidency. But I'll give him two things.
Okay.
I'll give Donald Trump two things. One, on some level, on some people, he's appointed qualified people at certain positions. General McMaster at the National Security Council. Even Nikki Haley, you might disagree with her. She is an experienced person at the UN. So I'll give him, he's put certain people in certain positions that are more experienced. The bigger issue is that I'm going to give Donald Trump credit for that when we look back at this that he has done, which is accelerated change in the country. He has caused a level of energy to rise that we know...
Against him.
Against him, but actually unified in a way that conservatives and progressives have gotten together and say we need to do what we need to do in the country to get it to another level. I think when we look back, Donald Trump will be the great accelerator to that change.
That is so well put.
Yesterday, well, Trump recently claimed that an armada was on its way to North Korea.
Yeah.
But it turns out they were heading in the opposite direction. Now, with North Korea threatening a super mighty preemptive strike, that's in quotes, and showing videos where they blow us, the United States, into smithereens, who is really manning the ship here?
Well, first, I think the last time that there was an armada, I think pirates were involved.
Yes.
And they were paying them Spanish doubloons or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's what I think about this. Actually, when I first saw it and watched Sean Spicer try to explain what they said, it reminded me of one of my sons, right? When I said, "Are you going to football practice?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm going to football practice." And I learned a little while later, he's gone to John's house, and he goes, "But I'm still going to football practice." That was their explanation of this. I think there was a miscommunication. I don't think they sort of said they knew what they were saying was wrong. I think there was a miscommunication between an admiral, the Pentagon, and the White House. But I fault them.
It's a terrible miscommunication.
I fault them for this, which is they have an incapacity to admit when they're wrong and something goes wrong.
Exactly.
If they would just say, "We messed up, we didn't hear it right," but every time, and it comes from the top, Donald Trump, I don't think, has ever said, "I'm sorry" to anybody.
But the boat was supposed to be going north and it went south like his poll numbers.
They were going to some exercises that they had already planned by Australia.
1,000 miles, though.
But isn't that a dangerous thing when someone can't say, oh, wait, we got to call these guys and tell them we made a mistake?
Yeah, well, I think that's the problem. And it puts Sean Spicer, you feel bad for him at certain times because he only has an audience of one, right, which is Donald Trump, who seems to watch TV more than any 7-year-old that I've ever seen. And so Sean Spicer puts himself in this position where he can't say he's wrong because you never admit you're wrong, and then he has to do this crazy explanation.
He can quit.
You're entertaining.
Nobody's holding him there, Matthew.
All right, we got to talk about your book, A New Way.
Thank you. Book,
yes, exciting. New book out. Now, our country is so divided right now. We have national security concerns talking about North Korea, Russia, Iran. You have Democrats and Republicans sometimes won't even talk to each other. Many people around the country are scared. But you see this as a time that could potentially be exciting, an exciting time where something positive may emerge from this. Tell us a little bit about why.
I'm an optimist. I'm very hopeful. I've been married twice, so I'm definitely an optimist. Anybody, that means Zsa Zsa Gabor was the ultimate optimist, but 9 times. I'm very hopeful in this moment because we need to get to a place of change. This comes around in our country every 70 or 80 years. When you look at the history of our country, the last time this came around was when we were in the Great Depression and in World War II. Before that was the Civil War, and when we were moving from...
We didn't have a nuclear weapon then.
But at least there is some other foreign countries around that are trying to keep us calm. And so I think for everybody here in the audience and everybody there is we have an opportunity to lead. And the premise of the book is don't wait for somebody else. And I think the Bill O'Reilly, what happened with Bill O'Reilly is a perfect example, which is we can't wait for our political leaders to engage in this. People have to engage in this. And in the end, that decision wasn't Fox News didn't make that because of a moral position.
Right. Yeah.
No.
They made that because people stood up and it was a monetary decision.
That's right.
And I think that's the whole point is we can lead. Our leaders in Washington don't lead. No. They follow. And they follow where we want them to go. And ultimately, we can lead them there.
Wow.
Well, you write about the kinds of leaders the country needs. Can you point out any that you think are on the right track right now?
I think too often we focus, here's a culture that we focus on. We either focus on some political leader that we say, oh, there's the one, they're going to run for president, or we focus on some celebrity. And I think if you go around this country everywhere, if you go to Long Island, you go to Austin, Texas, where I am, you go to Detroit, or wherever it happens to be, there are people in those communities that are leading. They're solving some hunger problem.
Yeah.
They're solving some housing problem. But I think most of the time they think, I don't have the power, I'm not doing it. Well, real change in the history of the world, real change comes. The civil rights movement didn't come because somebody stood up as president of the United States. The president of the United States and the leaders were forced to it by local leaders that pushed it. So look at mayors, look at people on city councils, look at people running soup kitchens, look at people in this audience that are just dealing with them.
So it's what we always say, you know. If you don't do it, it's not going to get done. That's the way it goes, and Matthew Dowd's letting you know that in this new book, A New Way, Embracing the Paradox as We Lead and Serve, is available right now. And we will be right back. Oscar winner Anne Hathaway is busy. She's starring in one of this year's most wonderfully bizarre movies called Colossal, part of the all-female reboot of Ocean's 8, and her son just celebrated his first birthday. What's better than that? Please welcome the fabulous Anne Hathaway. You have a son.
Thank God.
He just turned 1 year old.
Thank God I have him there. Yes. Yes, and my mom, I don't know when I'm going to finally grow up and stop being, like, skeptical of my mom, because she let me know, and I don't know how she did it. She's like, hey, in your house, in the guest bedroom, there's a little sailor suit. I still don't know when she left it there. Like, she just went to my house, and so, well, I was gone, and I'm just like, oh, my mom got my son a sailor suit. Okay, I'll put it on, make her happy. That's, you know, I'm smart enough now to know to do that. And I can't believe I was skeptical because he just looked so yummy and so amazing. And so I just spent all of Easter just staring at him and taking pictures, just, you know, clicking.
Yeah. Grandmas know stuff.
Grandmas do. Grandmas do.
Really weird stuff. Yeah.
And he's got 2 excellent grandmas there, and grandpas too, actually.
Yes.
They're doing good.
That's good.
But you're a UN Goodwill Ambassador.
Yes.
And you gave a speech about parental leave on National Women's Day. You said that mommy guilt is invented nonsense.
Yes.
But you have a really cool explanation for what you mean by that. Can you explain it?
Well, I just, you know, I had my son, and I just felt like I could see certain things that I had never seen before, or they just didn't resonate, or I didn't understand. And one of the things I saw is that every parent, but especially every mom, no matter how she feels about how she's doing her best. Yeah. She's giving her everything. And maybe it doesn't look perfect from the way maybe it looks different than the way she thinks it should. But she's doing amazing, and she should be giving herself credit for that. And all of a sudden, I could just see that we're encouraged to spend time picking each other apart when really we should be looking at the institutions that should be supporting us and aren't.
Yeah.
We need support. You know?
Yeah. Ivanka Trump became a fan of yours through this this thing you did.
Yes, I heard.
And she tweeted all sorts of good things about your links to your speech, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
But, you know, she said it was excellent and everything. I find that just a little bit, not hypocritical, but disingenuous in many ways, because on the one hand, she's for women's issues and fix it all, and then she's living in the White House. She supposedly has her father's ear. And then basically her father has an executive order defunding Planned Parenthood, maternity leave, and all the things that women have been fighting for since Hector was a pup. So, you know, does it annoy you as much as it annoys me? I guess is the question.
What a fabulous question to have to answer on television. Look, I don't want to lose sight of the fact that we have to be able to be honest about how we feel. We have to be honest about the way we're being supported and people who could be doing more to support us. But I also, and I'm surprised myself by saying this, it isn't easy to be Ivanka Trump right now. I'm not sure that she can do anything right. I did appreciate the support because I feel like, oh my God, I mean, anyone else just feel like they're just exhausted, pummeled by the news, pummeled by the fighting, pummeled by everything.
Every day.
And nothing seems to be getting better. I mean, I feel like
fine, though. Her shoe line and her line is doing
so just what I want to say is, if this can be the thing that gets us to put aside, can I curse? Gets us to put aside the and actually support parents, then do it. Reach across the aisle. Reach across the aisle. I'll work with Ivanka Trump. I'll work with her. I don't agree with her on everything. She doesn't agree with me on everything. Yeah. But if us putting that aside and acting like grown-ups lets people who need support and need help get it, yeah, you're right, I'll do that. Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's talk about Colossal.
Let's talk about Colossal.
I love this. It's very, very different from anything you've done. People are calling it the Anne Hathaway lizard movie.
Yes.
The lizard monster movie.
The lizard monster.
The lizard monster movie. Look, I'm just going to say it, okay?
Do it.
The lizard monster movie. Tell us what it could possibly be about.
Talk about my Not Godzilla movie?
Yes.
Well, it's not Godzilla. I think this is one of the most fun movies I've ever made. It's one of the most fun movies I've ever been a part of. I play a girl who's got problems and goes home to fix them and discovers home being a place she hasn't been in 20 years, where she doesn't know anybody except for this one person that she grew up with, who turns into a drinking buddy, which is complicated because she's trying to get sober. But then she discovers, while in her hometown, when she gets drunk, a gigantic Not Godzilla terrorizes Seoul, South Korea. Lizard monster. Lizard monster. Lizard monster, I said it.
You think it's a love story? and then it goes in a completely
So
different
not love story.
direction. Right.
For me, it's a movie about addiction. To someone who had just gotten out of a really rough relationship and had gone through a divorce, it was a movie about abuse.
Right.
And to other people, they see it about American imperialism.
Right.
You know, it actually can take all of that. And it's a really funny monster movie.
Yeah.
And on that, too, like...
It's actually very funny.
And we
nice
do
to
have a
have
clip.
funny?
We have a clip. We have a clip. Okay, let's take a look.
Let's see. Whose hair is that?
A lot of different people.
They're not Godzilla's.
That's a lot of different people's hair.
And you won an Oscar for Les Mis, and who doesn't love Devil Wears Prada? There's also the best performance ever might be when you did Miley Cyrus.
Oh, thank
On the
you.
lip sync battle Wrecking Ball. This video has gotten over 20 million hits.
No, it hasn't.
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
We got a clip of that, too. Look at that. She's never seen it before.
I've never watched that.
So much
it's really good.
Yeah,
Now
really
I get what people keep talking to me about it.
Yes.
And clicking on it.
That place is like dreamland. You're just like, so I was kind of thinking I would do this thing, but only if we can have a wrecking ball. And then they're like, we got the wrecking ball from the video. I was like, cool. Could I have a sledgehammer? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, could you bedazzle it? Yeah. Could you bedazzle my bra straps? Yeah. Oh my God. They just keep saying yes to everything. It just was so much fun.
That's what happens when people actually give you the money to do the show.
Yes.
It's an amazing thing. It's fantastic. My God.
Can we get a wrecking ball?
I'm your wrecking ball. And you can't bedazzle me, baby.
Hold on then.
Come on, now.
Well, then I get to do this.
You got to do that. Thanks to Anne Hathaway. Listen to like this right now and Nationwide tomorrow. We'll be right back.
Just because I can.